Welcome, and this is the Grassroots Education and Entertainment Network, your number one source of information, education, and entertainment. For honest, responsible, and dependable information, we stand supreme. To stay focused, inspired, and relaxed, choose green. Hi, and welcome to the Ifagbemiro show. Ekabo to all the viewers, and I welcome you this afternoon. To start off, I normally would read an essay Ifa. Today, I'm going to read an essay Ifa from A.G. Ogbe. All right. It reads, all his machinations and evil deeds will follow him. If it is a witch who tries to cast a spell on me, except if she does not bathe with water, except if she does not wash his face, or that should be her face, with water, all his machinations and evil deeds will follow her. If it is a herbalist who tries to cast a spell on me, except if he does not bathe with water, except he does not wash his face with water, all his machination and evil deeds would follow him. If it is another priest or priestess who tries to cast a spell on me, except if they do not bathe with water, except if they do not wash their face with water, all their machinations and evil deeds will follow them. Whosoever tries to cast a spell on me, except if they do not bathe with water, except if they do not wash their faces with water, all their machinations and evil deeds will follow them, because no one makes enmity with water. Water is essential for bathing and drinking. Water is essential for bathing. Water is essential for bathing. All right. This is A.G. Ogbe. All right. So on today's program, which by the way is the first program for the second season, I was a bit away for a bit. So all the viewers who normally would look at my program, I would ask to be, excused for that hiatus that I took. Right now, today, what I want to do is I want to discuss some of the very basics of the concept of Ifa Orisa. All right. This subject is a subject that I'm trying to demystify so that persons who are unfamiliar with the practice and with the tradition will have an opportunity to hear what it's about. So, what I'm attempting to do is I'm attempting to start with the very basics Ifa Orisha. All right. The stream is particularly being done for persons on several of the islands where there are no shrines. So they would have an opportunity to learn what the practice is about and to be able to at least learn some of the basics about Ifa Orisha. All right, so without further ado, let me get into today's program. The first thing that I want to speak about, or the first thing that I'm going to address for today's show, is what is an Iba. All right, the term Iba translates into English as reverence. All right, the word Iba, the first thing we need to know is the word Iba means reverence. All right. Now, the questions would be, where do we fit in the Iba? That would be one of the first questions. When do we do Iba? And why is it important to do Iba? All right. Now, the within our tradition, within the African tradition, most people are familiar with a process that is referred to as libation. Libation is where you would observe persons pouring water, milk, alcohol, and other liquids as a gift offering. Okay? Now, most times to commence any activity, the very first thing that we do is the Iba. All right? The only exception you may find in commencing any ceremony or ritual that may take place before the Iba is you may have reverence being given to water. And the reason for this is because the element of water is what is used to perform the libation. So we pay respects to water before we proceed to actually doing the libation. Now, Iba is the way we show thanks and appreciation while acknowledging the existence of those having authority or rank in a hierarchical order. All right? The importance of it is we always want the guidance and support of Oludumare, or what other people would know by the name of God, and all those in the hierarchical order above us. All right? The Odu that supports, right, or gives credence to such a practice is Iwori Osa, right, which establishes the importance of gratitude. All right, most people have a clear idea what gratitude is. All right, it's the concept of being thankful. Okay, Iwori Osa states if a person chooses to be an ingrate, allow him or her to taste wickedness. It states he or she would remember the pain and not kindness. Cast divination for Iwori on a business trip to the market of Ilerin. Ilerin, I am grateful to you. Kindness must be appreciated, and I am grateful. This Odu, beside being called Iwori Osa, is also referred to as Iwori Eliri. All right, as Eliri was the name of the market that was mentioned in this particular Odu. All right, or Essay Ifa. All right, which I would explain later on, maybe not in today's stream, but in a future stream. All right, now to move forward with the subject, we're going to talk a little bit about first Orunmila, after which we will discuss a little bit about the term Ifa and what it means and what it symbolizes and all of that. Right? Orunmila is the interpreter of the divine message of Olodumare. He is described as the god of wisdom by some, all right? But we know that the owner of Orun and Aye is called Olodumare, all right? So whenever you hear the term God, normally we refer to as Olodumare. But Orunmila is referred to as the god, for want of a better word, of wisdom. All right? He is described as such. This is depicted in the following excerpt of the Ifa literary corpus in Oyeku Iwori. The wisdom of Egbara prevents it from having marks like Akoshi, caste divination for Orunmila, who came last but more intelligent than other divinities. All right, so normally we pay homage to Orunmila. All right, and the Oriki would go something like this. This Oriki came from Iwori Osa. All right, it reads, I pay homage to Orunmila, the apostle of God, the witness of destiny, second in command to God. Those attributes of Orunmila are revealed again in Iwori Osa. All right, so Orunmila is referred to as the second in command to Olodumare. All right, the next homage that is paid to the ancestors and the divinities that pave the way for the acceptance of sacrifices. All right, this is revealed in Owori Meiji. All right, I pay homage to the ancestors and to the divinities that pave ways for the acceptance of sacrifice. All right, now, many times you would hear persons saying that they pay homage to their paternal ancestors and to their maternal ancestors. These are special forms of homage that is also paid by the person who is doing the prayer, the recitation, or the oriki at that particular point in time. All right. Homage is also paid to one's ori or one's destiny. Right. For now, I'd be using a couple of terms that you may not be familiar with, the viewers may not be familiar with. But as time progresses on the Ifagbemiro show, what I would do is I would explain what all these Yoruba words means in English so that we would have a better understanding of these things. All right, so I pay homage to my Ori, which has been supporting me since birth. Right? And here it goes on further to speak about your divination during initiation. It describes the particular Odu that was revealed for you as an individual. So you would incorporate this in the prayers or in the oriki that you would create in order to be able to pray for your very own ori. All right. Now, Ori's wish was for a permanent abode and plenty followers. Upon hearing news that he finally broke the kola nut, all of the other divinities agreed that the head was the right divinity to the kola nut. Almost immediately, the hand, feet, and body, stomach, chest, neck, etc., each of which before had distinct identity, all assembled to live with the head. They carried the head high as king. I have chosen my course of destiny, that I would become a successful priest, and I therefore thank my Ori for the wonderful thing I have achieved. May my Ori not betray me, and may it continue to support me. All right. So these were just examples of the types of prayers or orikis or affirmations that one would make in the form of a iba, paying respects to these specific areas. There would be also others where you would mention the various Orishas, etc., etc. I would give a full example here now of an Iba or a prayer of reverence, right? This one here is completed. So it included all the different energies, Orishas, Olodumare, as well as all the different officials and elders that one would pay respect to during the course of an Iba. I'm giving the English translation because I'm trying to allow everyone to have an opportunity to understand what is actually in the Oriki or in the prayer or in the Iba in this case. All right? The translation reads, My reverence to Olodumare, the one that spreads all over the universe. Reverence to the dawn of the day. The east I salute you, the west I salute you, the north I salute you, the south I salute you. Reverence to the sunset, reverence to Mother Earth. Reverence to Orunmila, witness to creation. Reverence to the 201 Iromule on the right hand side of God. Reverence to the 200 Iromole on the left hand side of God. Reverence to the 401 Iromoles. This 401 Iromole comprised 400 male and one female. They were the ones that shuttled between heaven and earth at that primordial time. Reverence to Akoda, who was Orunmila's first Ifa student. Reverence to Asheda, which was Akoda's first Ifa student. And reverence to the mothers, the beautiful birds. Reverence to one's ancestors. Here, the ancestors' names can be mentioned. Reverence to one's father. Reverence to one's mother. Reverence to one's Olowo, which is one's godfather. Reverence to one's Ojugbona. Reverence to one's Ianifa. Iba to the element of space. Iba to the element of time. Iba to the element of movement. And Ashe, which is means let it be so, is the closing term that is used at the end of the Iba. And it is normally said 3 times. So at the end, you would say Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. All right. Now I want to go a little bit into a couple of terms, like the term Ifa, after which that would basically be it for this first session. All right. Now, Ifa is the divine message of Oludumare, right, which was with Oludumare from the beginning and remains with Oludumare forever. The word is Oludumare and remains with us forever and ever. Ifa religion is practiced in most parts of Yoruba land, in the western part of Nigeria. As a result of that spread of Ifa over the millennia, it has assumed different names in different countries and among different races. It is called Ifa in Yoruba land, in Cuba, USA, Brazil, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Suriname, and Haiti. It is, it is called Afa by the Iwi of Togo, Ifat by the Jews, Geomancy by Europeans, Ramal or Hati by the Arabians, Fa is the name in the Republic of Benin, Dorobel Ramal in the name of the Sahara Africa, and the Napoleon Book of Faith is based on Ifa, as well as the Jewish Kabbalah is based on Ifa. The actual title of Ifa is Ifa Oludumare. Others call him Orisha Agbaye, or Lord of the Universe. What is Ifa? Again, Ifa is the sacred message of Oludumare to humankind. It is the words of Oludumare to creating, directing, and controlling humankind's affairs on earth. It is the embodiment of the totality of human existence. Ifa also could also be viewed as a voice of Olodumare. We hear from the mouth of his messenger, Oronmila, Barami, Agbonirigon. Oronmila is the prophet that got the message from Olodumare, being second in command to God from the beginning. Oronmila is not Ifa, just as, for instance, Ogun is not iron, as Muhammad is not Quran, as Moses is not Bible. But Ifa is a sacred message of Olodumare to all mankind, which was received by Oronmila, Barami, Agbonorigun, and passed the same message to you and I for us to consort for our daily needs. Oronmila is the harbinger and interpreter of this divine message of Olodumare to humankind. All right, clearly, Oronmila hears and understands the message because he is an ordained prophet of Olodumare to comprehend the message and to pass it across to all mankind. Ifa is the basis to understand the beginning and the end of everything in the world. Nothing was made in the world without this same Ifa. Now, I'm going to now get into something that um, is a very important piece of information, and it sort of explains or breaks down the areas of life and existence that Ifa covers. All right. A thorough study of the ramifications of Ifa shows that it comprises of 8 basic essences, which are as follows. The spiritual essence. This relates to the place of man as a spirit in the cosmos, the powers of matter, and all aspects of ontological evolution and development. 2. Divine essence. This relates to methods of divination and accessing of esoteric information, the mechanism of divination, and systematic methods of getting messages and interpretations. 3. The religious essence. This relates to our faith, beliefs, catechism, and Ifa propagation or Ifagelism. 4. The worship and sacrificial essence. This relates to the meaning of worship, the importance of worship, sacrifices, and acceptability of sacrifice, clearance of sacrifice, passage of sacrifice, and the results of sacrifice. 5. The medicinal essence. This deals with the use of herbal plants for various healing. This is both in magical form and material medicine. Note, the oral word for Ifa could be used to perform all forms of magic and healing. All right? 6. The historical essence. This looks at the history of creation, including the history of materialists, non materialists, and the spiritual world. Number 7, the scientific essence. This deals with the power of observation, axiomatic astronomy, cosmology, cognitive and precognitive experience, astral science, physical science, logic, mathematics, natural science, and computer science. 8. The cultural essence. The cultural essence. This is what relates rites, rituals, politics, socioeconomics, languages, dress, and normative value systems. All right? It is obvious here that the 8 essences of Ifa are also coincident with the human essence on the planet and non human essence in the entire universe. It is also clear that the religion or the religious worship and sacrifices are but a few that constitutes the divine message known as Ifa. This constitutes the great mystery system. All right. Now, basically, this will conclude today's lesson. And I would encourage everyone to join me every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m., where I would introduce and I would attempt to demystify many of the concepts that relates to Ifa Orisha. My name is Ifagbemiro Adifoncho Orisha Bemi, and I would like to say to the viewers, Odabo, and I would see you next week. All right, keep in mind, I would like for viewers to share, to like, as well as to subscribe. The video could be seen on Ifagbemiro, home of Ifa Orisha tradition, on YouTube. It could also be viewed on Ifagbemiro, home of tradition, on Facebook, as well as in several other groups. Again, I would like to thank you for viewing, and we would continue next week on the very fundamentals of Ifa Orisha. Odabo.